Had enough of all of your parliamentarians and their abuse. The reason a lot of people don't know about that is because they removed constitutional studies from schools back in the 70s. If you go to the New Zealand Cabinet manual and you have a look at 1.18, it actually tells you there of your governor's reserved powers to dissolve Parliament. And all that's required is that you front up on the doorstep of your governor, who lives at 1 Rugby Street, Wellington, in a public funded government house it's called, and you ring the doorbell and you simply say to her, "Hello Governor, my name is Karen. I have lost confidence in the government and I instruct you to dissolve Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election." Now this has been happening across Australia and New Zealand now for 3 months. We've got thousands and thousands of people turning up in Perth every day, and that's applying enormous pressure to Governor Beazley. Of course, it's a lot more difficult to educate New Zealanders because the controlled opposition here has an enormous control over what you're hearing. And I think you've all learnt a lot about how they control the microphone down there, because they don't want you to know this stuff. But that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. If you've had enough of your abusive government, then you make your way down to the governor with dignity and grace and you ring the doorbell and say, "I have lost confidence in my government and I instruct you to dissolve Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election." What we're calling for is 7,000 people for 2 hours a day for 7 days straight. I mean, this is great for creating awareness, but I think we're all now aware that our governments are incredibly abusive. And it's not just about mandates. It's about having a lawless judiciary. It's about having a lawless court system. It's about having lawless politicians. It's about having a lawless police force. It's all of it. It's about having a corrupt education system. I mean, here in New Zealand now, you've got over 30 years worth of people that do not know how their judiciary functions, which is why you don't know to go stand at your governors. But that's where you need to be. It's happening right around Australia every day, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the reason you don't know this stuff is by design. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, from the age of 5, you've been told to sit down, shut up and obey authority. You've been told to walk in a line, raise your hand to speak, raise your hand to toilet yourself, and you grow into adults that go, "Who is my leader?" Because you've been trained since the age of 5. And what I'm really asking you to do, or at least advising you, is that your voice is powerful, each and every one of you. If you know what's happening around you is wrong, then go down and ring the doorbell of your governor at 1 Rugby Street, Wellington, and tell her directly. A couple of years back, Michael Webster, who is the clerk of the Executive Council, he's actually on level 10 there. He gave a little interview on the steps of Parliament. You can find that on my Telegram account on the Stuff NZ. It was published in the mainstream media. He told you straight out that the governor holds reserved powers to dissolve Parliament if he or she believes you have lost confidence in your government. Now, they don't actually tell you this, but how you actually have to inform your governor is you must present. You must physically present. You press the doorbell and you very respectfully say, "Governor, I've lost confidence in my government. I instruct you to dissolve Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election." Here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Even if half the people that are here gathered tonight decided to take the walk down 3 kilometres down the road to 1 Rugby Street and all of you, one after the other, rang the doorbell, you'd have those writs by midnight. It's as simple as that. It's up to you. And of course the controlled opposition that's controlling this event, they don't want you to know that stuff. That's why it's so hard to get on the mic. That's why they cut David off every time he tries to speak. And of course the hecklers come out in full force as well. Because they control this crowd, whether you realise it or not, but they do. And what connects every corruption, big and small, around the world, not just in Australia and New Zealand, but it's the Freemason network of filth, that Masonic lodge that sits in every district across our nation. It's not deserted, it's there for a reason. And they are the foot soldiers of filth that every corruption links back to. You can find them every time by knowing where they went to school and who's their daddy. And that all comes back to a thing called the Auckland Grammar Schools Act of 1874 and the Sydney Grammar Schools Act of 1854. And if you're interested in that history, that's fine. I'll be standing over there quietly. I'm happy to talk to everyone. But that is the network of filth that controls every corruption. That's why you have a lawless judiciary. That's why you have disassociated politicians. You have disassociated costumed thugs down here that protect child rapists. As a matter of fact, they're involved in it. But that is the truth. It's a confronting truth. I get it. And what is Freemasonry? Well, I can tell you this. It's an inbreeding program. They have been inbreeding and backbreeding and crossbreeding across their clans now for generations and generations. And here we are. Do we have a house full of politicians that are mad? Do you see their disassociation? I bet you do. Do you see their inability to connect with you all? I bet you do. Or when you've had enough, when you've genuinely had enough, you walk down to 1 Rugby Street, Wellington, and you press the doorbell and you instruct your governor. I have lost confidence in government. I instruct you to dissolve Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election. I'll be hanging around up here, happy to take questions and chat with people, but right now I'd like to introduce David Obeda. David Obeda is a lovely, intelligent, well-articulate man. Give David a round of applause.
Woo! Yeah, I thought I'd just jump on and say a few words. So in the last 2 days I've been kicked off that main microphone down there 3 times because they don't want people exposing their Freemasonry network of filth. As soon as I started talking about the Freemasons and their involvement in all of this, because the thing people got to realize is if we want to stop the mandates, yeah, but in order to stop the mandates, the government doesn't even have the power to do that because the mandates are being enforced by the corporations through the health and safety legislation, yeah? So this is how they protect each other in their network of Freemason filth. So really, if we want to stop the mandates, we need to dissolve the whole Parliament. No more political parties, all of them, they all have to go. They're all corrupt. All the MPs in this country are all corrupt. And any group trying to push their own political party in there, they're part of it. They're Freemasons as well. They know how corrupt that system is and there's no fixing it. The only way to move forward and the only way is we have to destroy everything they've built. Dissolve the whole government, all their corrupt judges in the judicial system. It's all corrupt. Every institution has been corrupted by the Freemasons. 95% of the police force is in their brotherhood, the Freemason Brotherhood. We need them all gone, and the military as well, all of them. So that's why we've got to dissolve every single one of them, and that's the only way we're going to do it. So the reason I get kicked off there as well is because they hate me. All of these organizers and all of that know that I can see them, you know what I mean? I can see right through their little game that they're trying to play. The best way for the government to neutralize an uprising is by controlling it themselves. These people are smart. They put people in key positions in this movement to corral the crowd and get them moving this way and that way. But we can see them. There's demons in the midst, fam. Don't get it twisted. I've been ripped off the mic 3 times down there in 2 days, and I'm hoping to make it 5 times by the end of the day. I'll try and get back up there because somebody's got to be speaking on this. There's a whole bunch of people in that crowd that agree with everything that I'm saying. Absolutely everything. They don't trust anything that's going on here, least of all the leaders of this movement. So we just got to stay aware, fam, stay sharp. We need the knowledge. Again, if we want to end the mandates, we have to dissolve the whole government. They are all in on it. Every government, all the judges, all the police force. You've got to remember that these MPs and that, they are born and bred for purpose. They didn't just fall into those jobs. They were born into it. They've been molded. They've been abused. They've gone through all of this crap so that they've got no humanity. That's how they can do the things that they do. If one of us was in those positions, we couldn't do what they do because they're not human. They can't be negotiated with. All of them need to be dissolved, and the Governor General has the power to do that. You just need to do your own research. It's there on Google. Look at the reserve powers of the Governor General in this country. She has the powers, even though she's one of them. Don't get me wrong. She's one of them. But we've got the numbers here where we can take the country back and put the fear of God back into these people. Because that's what they need. They don't fear the Creator anymore. They worship the devil. They do all sorts of rituals and messed up shit. But the Governor General has the reserve powers to dissolve Parliament, and that's what we want. No more political groups. No more Freemason-infested police force. They were infested absolutely every institution. And we need them all gone. It's the only way, fam. So anyway, much love. Thank you for hearing me speak. We're going to be gathering a lot more. You'll see us walking around in the crowd because we need to expose the people that need to be exposed there. So just spread awareness. Just let them know that there's only a few snakes in there against, we're all lions here. There's only a few snakes. There's nothing that they can do. But they can only move in the darkness. That's where they do all their stuff. If we can shine a light on them, they won't be able to do nothing. But yeah, thank you very much everyone. Keep us in prayer. And yeah, I'll end us with a word of prayer as well. So dear Heavenly Father, please watch over every single soul, every single person that's standing here right now. Give us the strength and the courage and the wisdom to see what's going on. Please give us the eyes of discernment, a heart of discernment, and help us to approach every situation with love. Thank you, Father.
I'll let you speak, bro.
No, stop.